We've all watched anime and we got ideas on what if this happened in this certain scene or what if this happened in this anime, and thus leading us to the conclusion of we're making our own stories. If you're new to the channel, I'm Olusiano XI, creator and artist of the series Fatal Blow, and in this video I'll be telling you guys how my series came about. Before we begin, please hit that like button and subscribe. That'll really help out the channel a lot. Your support means everything. And without further ado, let's go. So after watching a lot of anime, I kept getting ideas in my head of what if this happened in this certain scene or in this anime that I watch. Then I started to, I'm gonna create my own thing. Like, I'm gonna create my own scenes and stuff like that. So I used to work traditionally. I took some papers and crafted them into a comic. Like, I even measured it out to the size an actual manga would size. And after doing all of that, I started drawing. No script, no nothing. Straight up to the point, straight up to the line art. So I started drawing. The things that I created were Dragon Ball, my own versions were Dragon Ball, Sonic, GTO football, and so on and so on and so forth. I really love drawing those comics. And in Dragon Ball, I created a scene whereby Bardock actually meets Goku, and they start sparring to test strength and whatnot. And in Naruto, I also created Naruto, and there were like 3 comics that I created about Naruto. Again, my own versions. Yeah, so it was just this random adventure that they had, And yeah, even in Sonic, it was a random adventure. All of the comics that I recreated in my own versions. So when I was at school, when I have like free time, like I have nothing to do, I usually took out the comic so I can finish drawing it and stuff like that. And people started taking it and they were like, why don't you this is really good. Well, like, why don't you just publish it? And I was like, nah, I'm not ready to show people my work yet, cause I'm still doing these for myself, or just in case I get bored. And they were like, I see. So when are you gonna be ready? And I was like, I don't know, maybe if I decide to, try to show people my work, then I'll do it. Then they started offering me stuff like printing and whatnot, and I was like, nah, I'll show people my work when I'm ready. And I'm like, alright, okay. So I continued. Then later I started, let me just improve on my drawings first before I get serious into comic/manga creating. So I stopped doing those comics so I can improve in my drawings, in my art styles. So that worked out in my favor, but I somewhat lost those comics. So yeah, again at school, one of my friends came up with an idea of how about we create our own thing. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So what are we gonna create? They suggested that we created a Stickman comic. Yeah. And so like I'll be the artist, and one of them writes and whatnot, supervising and all of that stuff. So we agreed on the tasks and we started working. I was drawing the comic, like actually drawing the comic. Then days later, I came up with an idea. You know what? I'm gonna make my own thing, like my own project. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I also gonna make my own project. And we started working on our own projects. My first project was called The White Shadow, my first comic. Yeah. The MC, it was Jaden. Yeah, that was the MC's name. Yeah. You see, the 5 leading characters in the series, the current series, Kazuya, Kai, Tetsu, Isame, and Kagami. Yeah, they had other names in The White Shadow. Yeah, so I can't recall their names, but Kazuya was Jaden. I don't know the others, but hey, we moved. So after that, I worked on the series. Like, I drew Again, no script, no nothing. Straight up to the point, straight up to the drawings. So I drew about 6 chapters basically. I drew about 6 chapters, and then I quickly moved to the time skip whereby Jaden had a family already. Yeah. So it was, to be honest with you, it was somewhat like Naruto, okay? I was deeply inspired by Naruto. So then I started adapting into Naruto's style in drawing and other stuff. I really like how Kishimoto draws Naruto, okay? So I studied how Naruto has its Jinchuriki and tailed beasts and everything like that. And I also got inspired by another series, which is, we all know it, My Hero Academia. So there, I loved their fights. How the artist drew My Hero Academia, similar with Kishimoto. And I just like sometimes the happy times that the characters tend to have, you know. So I thought of like, you know what, this is what I also like for my characters to have, like fun times here and there, and have some epic fights here and there. And in Naruto, I just liked how they did everything. The tailed beasts and the hand signs. I was gonna include hand signs in my series, so I was like, nah, let me just not include the hand signs. I'm not, because I'll be like straight up like Naruto now. So I started mixing both Naruto's style and My Hero Academia style, and I also added my twist to create the series, which I'm currently working on since forever ago, which is Fatal Blow. I started working on Fatal Blow as soon as I got to high school, and that was also when I started drawing digitally. Yeah, I started drawing my manga and everything, illustrations, everything digitally. So I moved past the traditional way of drawing to digital. So currently I'm using both I'm using traditional to practice my drawing skills and digital to draw illustrations and my manga. And I have been working on Fatal Blow ever since then. My message to every artist out there, doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a professional, it doesn't matter. If you want to create a story and you don't have equipment or whatnot, because I started out without any equipment, as you can tell, I am using my phone to do everything to create my manga. So if you want to create your own story, don't be afraid to do so. Start out. You can start. You can draw. It doesn't matter what equipment you have. Is that if you have a phone, you can do it. If you know how to draw digitally with a thumb using your phone, you can do it. You don't have to like wait on a tablet or something like that. Now you can start now to create your story if you want to. I hope this message is clear and makes sense, because sometimes I tend to not make sense. If you want to know more about the series, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications for when I upload absolutely anything. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think, and I will see you guys in my next video. This is Oleshiano XI, and I'm out.